Hello everybody, my name is Requiem and here today we have Akumar versus Fiddler. This is Bar Pro League Group A matches, and today on the first map we have Greenhaven is the battleground, and here we have Fiddler playing Armada, Akumar also playing Armada, both players OS 49. And this is a tough bracket they are in. Whoever wins this match, well, wins this set of matches, will have to go up against the winner of the other set of group, which should either be Blowdeer or Jammers. Blowdeer, obviously, well renowned in the 1v1 scene. So, of course, someone that they're probably expecting to play against. Now, Fiddler's straight off the bat coming out with some ticks. Well, a single tick. Then we've got con, more ticks, pawn, and so on and so forth. Going heavy with the solar. The wind on this map isn't tremendous, so that kind of makes sense. And Akumar here actually going vehicles here. The metal on the map is 2.3, so it's not bad when it comes to metal points for vehicles. However, vehicles may have problems going over all of these little hills. We'll yet to see when he starts building some combat units. As we see with the rovers here, they're not really able to pass over these hills. That may be the downfall of Akumar with his unit positioning, but we'll see how it plays out. Now, start position choices. Well, we can see here that Fiddler has gone for a central start position. This will enable him to spread out north and south very, very quickly. But means his base is open for flanking damage. Whereas Akumar going for a defensive start in this top corner, being extremely greedy by going 2 cons and has only just started building more units after the scouts. Whereas Fiddler already has 3 pawns and plenty of ticks. Now here we see exactly what we were talking about, the ticks. Able to get up on the high ground. The rovers can't make it up there, so that tick will now just sit up there, causing Akumar an everlasting threat. Now, with such large amount of terrain to cover, it's going to be difficult for each player to kind of position their units exactly where they need them. So getting scouts out early and a lot of scouts that will help cover as much terrain as possible. I'll see how much damage Akumar is able to pull off with the 7 scouts. Pawns have already made their way out as well. And interestingly enough, there is some reclaim. Not that much here, to be honest. There's a couple of 100 scattered all over the place. So another reason probably why Akumar hasn't gone for bots here. Interestingly enough, we don't see Akumar moving towards the center here to try and contest Fiddler's base. Instead, actually just going straight down. We may see potential like proxy factory from Akumar when he gets a bit further south. That would be very useful for Akumar if he gets down here, builds another factory here, and then is pushing Fiddler from 2 directions. But we'll see how well it goes. The scout has made its way down off of the mountain and now here to cause Akumar some problems, going around hitting all the solars there in an attempt to reduce energy production. And doing a pretty good job about it as well. And now it just retreats back up the hill. Ready to do it again when he least expects it. Oh, the blitzes actually lose out that fight. And this pathing ability of the vehicles is starting already to cause Akumar some problems. Ticks just barreling straight down the center. they get up on that high ground again, it's just even more problems for Akumar to worry about. I mean, he could just build an LLT here and call it a day. But no, as the tick comes back down again to cause even more problems. All energy production for Akumar shut down again. The tick unable to get back up to its high safe spot. So with all of that harass and yet another wave of ticks. Oh, the self-destruct though, tremendous self-destruct. Manages to catch all but one of the ticks, and that will save that constructor there. Economy-wise, pretty safe. Fiddler's in the lead. Energy, build power, metal produced is neck and neck though, but all of the aggression has been aimed towards Akumar. Akumar has not really been able to return the favor as of yet. But still early days. Ticks, more ticks just going straight down the middle. And Akumar's not really doing a decent job here at defending the center. Delayed self-destruct there, does not manage to find its target. Ticks don't actually get too much there, which is useful for Akumar. Then we see a couple of blitzes in the bottom right-hand corner here, attempting to get a little bit of damage dealt. Now, there is an LLT built, but they do get the expansion con, which is quite an impactful bit of damage there. Takes quite a long time for cons to spread out. Now, will this guy continue to get any more damage? Probably not, with all the pawns moving down. And there is a big group of pawns here for Fiddler as well, getting some of that expansion. And radar as well. Now the con does survive, hiding in the corner. It would be great to see a LLT up there. Not LLT, radar. Now this terrain problem is going to get exacerbated when Akumar transitions over to full vehicles like the Janices and Stouts. But if Akumar is able to continue applying pressure, now that he's got a decent force up and running, you may see Fiddler start to struggle. Beamers are going up in the periphery of Fiddler's base though, trying to just stop any raids from the sides. Where are these guys going? Back down the bottom. Okay. Oh, able to pick up another expansion con. Yeah. And that's going to slow down Fiddler's expansion even more. Bottom right hand corner still has not been resurrected or expanded back onto. There are two 2.3 mexes. It's not the end of the world, but it's nice to have down there. The rest of the metal extractors on the map are lower grade of 1.6, so there are definitely some important mexes you want to take over the other ones. Now, intermittent LLTs will be a distraction from these pawns, but at the end of the day, not really enough LLTs to stop them getting value. Oh, but the pawns split up. Self-D of the LLT goes off. I don't actually know if that did go off because the pawn survived. Fiddler's doing a good job here at trying to basically keep Akumar's attention across the entirety of his area. Akumar did attempt an attack, but wasn't able to get anywhere with it, unfortunately. He does have very good information, though, on Fiddler's base. At least on the backside of it. He doesn't quite know the amount of build power his opponent has. Although Akumar has chosen not to go for a proxy factory in the corner, though. somewhat surprising. Akumar does have a decent chunk of metal sat right now and is continuing on with the Blitz only. Army value right now, though, is huge difference. 120% advantage. Self-destruct on a beamer. I didn't think beamers have a self-destruct bonus. Oh, they do. Some good self-destructs there. But at the end of the day, the Blitzes still completed their job. Killing the defenses there, killing the expansion constructor, and continuing on to do even more damage as they make their way south, picking up yet another metal extractor. And this is exactly the sort of damage that Akumar has been needing now. Unfortunately, not able to get much further, but just look on the map. The difference in space controlled. So you see Akumar's like this. Fiddler is like this. So, kind of interesting. Akumar has kind of expanded more on the top and bottom and not in the center whatsoever. We do see Akumar now placing down that proxy lab that we were speaking about at the beginning of the match. Now this will of course use more of the metal than he had, being a second factory and all, but will help apply pressure along this bottom side, meaning his forces at the top don't have so far to travel. Now there is a geo here as well, which if he can get access to that geo, it's gonna do him wonders. But there's still holes though in his defense along this middle section. There are intermittent LLTs around. This constructor looks like it's going to get grabbed. These are all res units here. Oh, I didn't even notice it. But big fight takes place on the north of Fiddler's base. Vehicle transition as well here from Fiddler. Now pumping out his own blitzes. Managing to pick up an expansion con again. And air starting to also come out from both players at this point. Now, at least with Akumar having his base spread out on 2 different locations, we could see it prove to be a bit more difficult for a bombing run to actually make an impact. Really hoping to get one of those energy converters. He does manage to get an energy converter, and it actually pops a solar as well. 2 energy converters down and a solar. Another solar down and almost one more, but not quite. These all-in attacks are proving a bit difficult for both players. No Janus is out yet, purely just due to the size of the map. You really need to kind of have units spread out as much as possible. Gunships from both players as well. We see 3 gunships for Fiddler. 4th one. I'm just keeping an eye on this attack down at the bottom. Resbots do get picked up. Akumar doing some good aggression here with these forces along the bottom. He does need to be careful though. There's a bunch of blitzes just heading straight through the middle, as we're going to just switch over to those now. These blitzes here just walking straight through the middle. There's not that much left. Now there are a bunch of gunships of Akumar's, which will help, but losing quite a bit. Now the question is, will these blitzes be able to get any of these advanced solars? That'd be great value if they do. Trying to prioritize them. 1 advanced solar, 2 advanced solars. Unable to get a 3rd. Well, that's some good value again from Akumar, but at the same time, we see a rush now on Akumar's base. LLTs have been put up in an attempt to stop this. But is there too many? Conto. It should be able to eat up the last two of the blitzes here. Oh, but getting all the build power, that's the most important thing. Ooh, just managing to save it. One build turret lost. It's not the end of the world, but there was quite a lot of metal extractors that Fiddler was able to pick up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at least metal extractors. Huge amount of economy damage, but Akumar continuing to just try and pressure the base of Fiddler. He is kind of getting distracted though, as these units are just getting stopped right outside the base. Resbots also now coming out in an attempt to resurrect these units and the A-Solars. This is a pretty close game here. You would think that Akumar is in the lead. You would think so, at least. Metal a second, technically he is, but some of that is coming from Reclaim, the 600 Reclaim at the bottom. Metal produced, we see about 3k difference. But right now, Akumar is running pretty short on units. And there are more and more units just making their way down the center. Now, this base does have a couple of LLTs still, and with gunships nearby, may prove a little bit difficult, but still, Fiddler's managed to make his way up pretty far. Right now, Akumar just needs to get units out, cons out really, to try and get some of these metal extractors up quickly. Meanwhile, Resbots are just rezzing all of the blitzes that have been sent into the base. And there's a lot of them to be had as well. So, could end up seeing Akumar's comm get overwhelmed here if he's not careful. He is on his own down here. There is quite a lot of forces. Oh no, the ones in the center are all going for Akumar's base instead. Gotta say, if they went straight for the comm, that'd be a big problem for Akumar. He's gonna lose both of these constructors though. Trying to eat at least one of the blitzes. Oh, he did eat one, and oh, the gunships actually managed to save the constructor. And now everything's slowed down a bit. Now that Fiddler has the Resbots out, he's actually eaten the bot lab here. All the damage that Akumar dealt has kind of been removed. Raising everything that was had. This is a bit of a problem for Akumar here. 33 units. 25 of those are blitzes. Akumar doesn't quite realize the size of that army there as he goes in. Does have a decent amount of gunships, but has he continued building them? He's stopped building. He's removed his vehicle lab from the top, which means all of his unit production is now coming from the bottom here, which to defend his base, they have so far now that they need to travel in order to get up here. Oh, and Akumar not paying attention for a split second, gets some of his tanks flanked. Oh, and also moves them into a bad angle as well. Not enough fighters to deal with all of the air force that Fiddler has. This may be pretty difficult here for Akumar to save, with Stouts making their way into the base and a huge amount of blitzes. Don't think there's enough gunships in the world that will be able to stop this from inflicting massive amounts of damage. Just look at them, just deleting those solars. Now, don't get me wrong, Akumar has a decent base down the bottom still, so it's not the end of the world. And surprisingly, doesn't do too bad. Now, Akumar still hasn't gotten this Geo, which is somewhat surprising. Being that he sat right next to it, I thought maybe that would have been worth it for him. He is having build power problems right now. Obviously, with eating all of this metal up here, he's got so much metal he's sat on right now. He needs to use it. Akumar unable to really apply any pressure for a little while, though, as Fiddler has been doing a pretty good job. Akumar now decides he's had enough of that, and he wants to try and make a bit of pressure. Switching to a stout heavy force now. They are just continuing to rush towards the base of Fiddler. Stopping just short of a beamer though, taking loads of additional damage as the gunships help out the beamers here. A lot of gunships. Oh dear, Akumar's comm running for his life. As the gunships are chasing him down. He stands still to cloak. Attempt to try and save his comm, but the units chase up on him.
Commander destroyed.
To cloak him, and Akumar loses round one. That literally could have been anyone's game pretty much the entire time. But well played, both players, as we move on to game 2. Will Fiddler win this one and go through, or will Akumar be able to claw one back? Let's see. Here we are, round 2 on Sirillata. This map is going to be interesting. Now, we start off here looking at Fiddler, playing Armada again. And on the opposite side, Akumar also playing Armada again. Now, this is obviously a very wind-heavy map with a max wind of 25. And, of course, this map has a very interesting feature of this 5 metal point in the center. When it's on a 1v1, probably not the biggest of deals, but it is important. You don't really want to let your opponent just have that. It is the equivalent, of course, of more than just 2 of these other mexes. But being a team map, both players are going to have extra triple mexes either side of them. So we'll see how well and how quickly they expand to that. It's going to be a metal-heavy game with lots and lots of units. So let's see how we go. Both players at the moment getting out some early ticks just to get a bit of scouting on, as you know. Surprisingly, Fiddler going for 2 comms. Huh. Akumar being even greedier here, going for a 3 con start. Going straight into a build turret as well. For the second con is even finished. Probably because he plans on sending the cons out either side pretty much straight away. Keeping the build power in the base there. No massive aggression. Fiddler being very defensive here. He's got this 1 tick basically trying to find out where Akumar is, which he's about to find because it's pretty obvious where you would spawn. Question is, will he be able to grab this? No, there's a pawn already there. Does its job. Well defended. Oh, where is this guy actually going? Oh, straight to the high ground mechs there. Getting a very good, well-placed radar. Good thinking. Akumar doing fine on his energy at the moment. No problems there whatsoever. building a second con turret here to help scale up the energy. Meanwhile, Fiddler keeping his commander in base here to use that build power of the commander instead. Now, early units, Akumar is a little bit lacking, but considering most of this is just ticks, not really a big problem. 2 pawns making their way down, and there's another tick there, but there's a pawn already defending it, so it's not really that big a deal. Try and keep an eye on all of this at the same time. This pawn does not manage to get the metal extractor. Not pawn, sorry, tick. And these 3 units, will Fiddler move them away, or are they going to get grabbed? They're definitely dead. Unable to react in time. Fiddler losing all of his forward forces there. No Resbot out, obviously, yet. There's only a little bit of wreckage, but it will add up eventually if Fiddler continues trying to fight there. Wind at the moment, though, at its lowest it's been yet, and both players e-stalling. Akumar is getting back on the road quicker than Fiddler. Fiddler did not manage to get his e-storage built before the wind died, and is actually decaying now. Doesn't help that he was also building an additional con turret here. Does he see those LLT? He does know there's an LLT. Very well played. Akumar managing to turn around before he runs into the LLT there. Also good positioning with his pawns, managing to fight a decent fight, and does manage to get the con. Now with Resbots being around, it's not really the end of the world losing that, but it has delayed Fiddler's expansion, and this mech will decay before it gets finished. This has given Akumar a pretty strong position in the center. Now in team games, you quite often see whoever gets the center building a factory here to be able to support controlling the center. And on a map like this, if you did build a factory right here, you would be able to pressure Fiddler's base quite strongly. He would have to keep forces here, which would make it a lot easier for you to expand to the side. He wouldn't really be able to rotate as easily. But we'll see. We'll see what he does. At the moment, Akumar's moving into the other start position for what his team would have along here. He's definitely ahead of Fiddler when it comes to expansion here. He is losing the... Oh, no, never mind. I was about to say losing the center, but with an LLT already in position, he's in a good spot. Also, just slowly trying to deny the bottom right corner of the map here. Akumar does manage to kill the entire defending force of that constructor and also pick up that constructor. And Akumar doing a very good job at containing Fiddler in his corner here. He has transitioned over to vehicles with an attempt to get a bit more firepower down. Not enough to beat the double LLT. Grabs the Resbot. Will grab the constructor again. But these forces of Akumar will get caught on this high ground and will die on this hill, leaving more and more reclaim for Fiddler to get. He does need to be careful of that. He does know his opponent has bots, can get Resbots up here pretty quickly, but while he's doing that, he has gotten the 5 metal in the middle and is doing a pretty good job at controlling the center so far. Both players now have the same factories of vehicle and bot. No radar for Akumar here, though. Literally cuts out just there. He could really do with a radar, which he does have queued up, it seems. Where are these guys going? Oh, they're going to clear that corner. Very good. double con there. That's a big build power loss. Oh, does he get another one? I wish I had a counter that just showed how many constructors Fiddler has lost so far. Because that's quite a lot of constructors to lose. Now, this force will get mopped up by the LLTs. They're going to hang around. There's enough LLTs around to kind of stop it. Will this actually get built in time? No, it will not. Getting another metal extractor and some wind. The question is, will they be able to get the con? I don't think they will. Oh, they don't actually get the metal extractor. These guys will maybe get this mechs. They keep going if they've been tasked to. Oh, no, never mind. They turned around. Fiddler now switching over to air. One of the things that helped him win the game last time, but running 3 factories now on a lot less metal than your opponent is going to start really eating into his unit count. He's got to make that air lab count. Akumar, though, doing the exact same, but he is ahead on metal substantially. Got all of those numbers in the spec HUD there. All in the red, massively. 125% on metal a second. That just shows the huge difference. Akumar with... wow. Akumar controlling this much of the map, and only that quarter does Fiddler have. Now, this is a big army push here by Akumar. His force is getting attacked from all sides, and as Janus has come out, the second volley of the Janus rocket did not really manage to do any damage, but E-converters go down. 4 pawns left do not manage to get really that much damage. He killed 2 Januses, got some E-converters. The build power still stands, and with 2k metal now set outside Fiddler's base, that's a big donation. And he was hoping that was going to be a game-ending push, but not quite enough. Akumar, traumatized by last game, has built so many air defenses. He is not having that same thing happen again. But right now, this is Akumar's game to lose. And seeing that many gunships, Fiddler calls the GG. So
battle
it goes
ended
1-1. Who will win the last match? Let's find out. So here we are into round 3. It is all to play for as both players have 1 each. Final map, winner takes all, is afoot. Now, on a map that doesn't really need any introduction, but we'll do it anyway. And this is Hades Ponds. Now, a huge map with lots of metal. Quite often seeing this map go to tier 3. We'll see how it goes for Akumar and Fiddler. Now, wind isn't terrible on this map, with it being a high of 4, but that low of 2 is really a killer. And we see both players choosing a different in start here, with Fiddler going for wind. Ironically, Fiddler, who gets cheaper solars, goes wind, and Akumar, who gets cheaper wind, goes solars, because, you know, that makes sense. Now, Akumar with vehicles as Armada, Cortex, bots for Fiddler. Now, there is quite a bit of crystal laying around on this map for energy. Doesn't really give you any metal at all, but it gives you a lot of energy. So if you wanted to supplement not having to build quite so much, going bots and eating all of that crystal would be a good call. But this map is huge, and having very, very slow walking construction bots is going to slow down Fiddler's expansion considerably compared to Akumar. So that's exactly what lost Fiddler the last game, was not being able to expand quick enough and getting cut off. So we'll see what happens. Fiddler playing very defensive this game. He's gone with the grunts and he's just pushed out enough here to defend. He's got grunts on every con here, not hoping to get caught out at all. And it is quite easy to defend where Fiddler is spawned. He needs just, you know, some defense here, a defense there, or units there and there. And then he maybe expands with his commander this way. And then his base is pretty much safe from raids. It's getting to that point that's going to be the problem, but he is already kind of there with the amount of grunts he's got. These guys did unfortunately let one guy through, but with some well-placed grunts here, this rover will not find any value. And there we go, getting caught off now. With Fiddler's comm starting to make his way around, what we'll probably see Fiddler do is either move to here, maybe build a second factory in order to continue pressure down the center, or he's going to just continue going all the way down to the bottom because of all of this quantity of metal. Now, you're asking, why is the commander being expansion? Commander obviously has the most build power here, so able to expand quicker, and his speed isn't that bad. So using the commander to go down here and get all of those metal extractors will have them built the quickest and the safest. But Akumar not continuing to walk, surprisingly, and is heading back to use his build power on the factory instead. Now, there are plenty of metal extractors to the south, but he's choosing to ignore them for now. Akumar doesn't really have that much problems to really worry about. Maybe he's planning to go for a very early win and he doesn't need it. I mean, his energy is fine right now. He's got two constructors slowly expanding here, and he's just slowly building up blitzes. Fiddler is going to continue expanding, has double LLT'd and is actually triple LLTing this position here, and is really struggling with energy at the moment. He's having to build in some solars here. Clearly the res bots on the crystal have not proven enough. Actually building LLTs on pretty much every single expansion point here. Now, he really does not want to get raided by Akumar. Now, of course, we can see these forces just making their way straight down the center. And the question is, does Akumar know that they exist? He does now, as the radar just sees them. He's rushing some of his forces there. But we do see Fiddler has continued going south just as this fight starts to take place. And both sides successfully defended by Akumar. He is continuing on. Build power is, well, Fiddler has built a lot of build power. Metal a second is advantage Fiddler now as well, due to the fact that he's just walked his commander and just kept going with it rather than what Akumar did and turn around. Now he is trying to get these guys up here so that other blitzes can meet them. And the first constructor lost does go to Fiddler there. But there's just so many LLTs, it might prove difficult for Akumar to find much damage here. Although he has very well played those LLTs there, keeping spread out, making sure he wasn't close, and getting those triple mexes there. And running away to live to fight another day with most of his army. Now, it seems the Fiddler just isn't quite sure how to deal with these blitzes, and as such has gone vehicles himself here. and is building incisors now as we press shift. Wrong buttons here. On legacy keys, pressing shift space shows us what they're building, with incisors and cons for Fiddler and resbots and grunts. And then on the opposite side, we just see all the blitzes in the world being built by Akumar. Akumar doing very well in managing his economy at the moment. He's invested a lot into solar, which I am dubious as to if he's going to go A-solars or he's planning to eat this, because this is a lot of metal here. It's 3,500 metal just sat in a bank ready to be eaten. And it's like he's listening to me talk as he literally starts A-solars moments after I mention it. He does also have the option with vehicles of building a beaver here, getting this mechs in the water and building tidals, which will be very safe from raiding until one of the two players goes air. Now, this is a decent amount of blitzes, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. The LLT does not get built, but with incisors and more grunts making their way across, the blitz have actually managed to make it through. Fiddler is struggling on E, but they do not actually gain much in the way of value there. They're going to pick up side mexes. Okay, not too bad. Although some poor pathfinding, unfortunately, hurts Akumar there and loses most of his forces. Also, the last blitz doesn't manage to catch that either. And I don't know. That was 2 metal extractors for 1,000 metal. Not exactly 1,000 metal, of course, because some of this was already there, but still. It's close. Still very close. Metal produced difference. We're talking about only 1,000 difference between the two players. Fiddler has continued walking south with his commander, getting more and more metal extractors. Having so many LLTs defending these metal extractors is going to make it pretty difficult for Akumar to make an impact against them. Although it really does help that Fiddler's E has been in the toilet for the last like 5 minutes. Attempted self-destruct of an LLT. Goes off but does not inflict any reasonable damage. And they do get cleared up, but that's a decent raid. Not too shabby. Oh, Akumar has fully transitioned to air. He's reclaimed his vehicle lab. He's gone all into air. He's sat on so much metal right now that might actually end up overflowing if he's not able to actually get more build power right now. Oh, there we go. He's built a more forward vehicle lab to try and use some of the metal that he's got. He did send some cons down south, but these guys are probably about to get eaten because there is a large force of Fiddler's units heading down south. Akumar needs to turn that constructor around. He even moved all the units, but then left it there. Oh dear. Well, that's the first con loss of Akumar. Those units aren't really much to write home about, but LT getting some free damage there. Second con loss for Akumar as these blitzes and incisors just make their way into an LLT or two. Akumar doesn't really have anything to stop this right now. Ooh, the gunships get spotted. The fighters are not nearby yet. Oh, he's going to lose quite a lot of those gunships before the fighters show up. Fiddler is getting spotted by the blitzes. The Gunships arrive. There are not enough fighters. Move these blitzes. Oh no, no. Gunships. Oh, Akumar. No. Oh, it was so close, but Akumar did not manage to pull it off. And meanwhile, in the base, those units that were at the south just slowly just walked up and made a hole through the base. Oh, such a shame. That was a perfect opportunity there for Akumar. But Fiddler just stayed still, was patient, and survived due to that. 1.1k metal now. Just sat there, though. At the same time, Akumar was continuing to just build more and more tanks. And he is also sat on a large amount of metal. We may see Tech 2 here from Akumar. It would be a bit risky, just due to the fact that this is pretty much his entire army. But at the same time, he doesn't have a lot of metal. He does look like he's going for double vehicle lab. Pounders are going to make it hard for him to push into as well. Now, all the res bots as well. There's so much metal around Fiddler's base. Oh, bad camera work there. I'm sorry. Now the comm of Fiddler, we just see it on the mini-map there, going into the water. He doesn't know if he's safe or not from more gunships. And more to the point, doesn't know he's safe from these guys just continuing to rush down his commander. So he's going to just sit here in the water, play it safe, which is a sensible move, really. Now, Fiddler does have one strong thing here. He has shurikens. He's just hunting for that commander. He's hoping he'll find it down here. Hoping to pick up some metal extractors, but little does he know there aren't any. They're all dead. Akumar having a bit of a build power problem though still. He's got a lot of metal still in the bank here. Unable to really make the most of it, and he may start running into a problem here as this is a large group of units for Fiddler, most of his army, and also stuff getting rezzed behind it. And Akumar isn't really producing as much. He does have a slight mistaken double mix there, which let's just, you know, don't talk about that. Oof. Pounders, man. Stout's really struggling with him. It did look very strong for Akumar early on. He's not doing so well anymore. It's still anyone's game. Metal a second is all over the place, so a bit impossible to track, but we are seeing 5k difference in metal between the two players right now. Saying that though, there is quite easily that on the floor, or at least there was that on the floor near Fiddler. Fiddler's comm is just going to be sat under the water now. Akumar going for the gunship run again. Little does he know the commander's underwater, so these gunships are going to do jack squat. These tanks, however, may get more value than expected. So far already with 4 metal extractors, 5 metal extractors, and continuing on. Okay, they're done. They ain't gonna get much more than that. They're gonna get eaten. Oh, interesting building over a metal point here. Akumar's like, I don't need that metal point. It's fine. See what damage the gunships can do. Gunships have actually turned around and are shooting the metal extractors and LLTs here. Rather than going in and trying to get energy converters. Hoping to get a lot of res bots. We're seeing the king of memes doing a bit of a meme play here. Akumar not as far ahead as he was hoping, probably. And there's a lot of res bots here for Fiddler. And he's just going to keep resing. Whereas we actually see Akumar eating. There's a lot of metal extractors that are being left uncapped. Got about to lose 2 constructors, though. Akumar is quite a way behind in build power, actually. And losing 2 constructors is going to hurt. Not only that, but... Oh, Tech 2 transition. And at that time, these forces are making their way down. Gunships may be able to provide the relief that's necessary to stop these, but... if they get that Tech 2 constructor, it's not going to be good. Nah, it's fine. There's 2 blitzes left. That's not going to do anything. But there is a lot of lost metal extractors. Meanwhile, this is really where the big fighting is taking place, and these pounders are just causing more and more problems. Resbots are just sat behind it, healing anything that gets a slight tickle of damage. Now, as the first bull makes its way onto the field, we're going to see Fiddler. Oh, Fiddler's actually going to res this stuff. I was expecting him to just eat it as quick as possible here, but no. Wow, this one blitz doing God's work. So far, he's solo killed 4 metal extractors around the back line. Oh, some unlucky pathing again for Akumar. His Tech 2 constructor here just sat doing nothing. Okay. He hasn't noticed this. This is horrific. This is really, really bad for Akumar. That one advantage of having Tech 2 is getting those units out and that economy up quick. But as Azar approaches, the king of all tanks, make it difficult for Akumar and his large quantity of units. Has he noticed yet? He did, but he lost a good couple of minutes on that there. The Bulls will kind of stop Fiddler's attack here. Fiddler has to kind of go in or not, whereas the Tsar's obviously more of a defensive unit. Can use it offensively, of course, but he's not got the economy to go anything but bulls, really. He'd probably like a Starlight or 2, but yeah, it doesn't really have what it takes to do that. Shurikens, though, in the back. Cut instantly gets shut down. Oh, are those fighters going to go straight over that flak? They do. All the res bots. All res bots. Sacrificial res bots. When it comes to air, Fiddler does have the advantage right now. He has a lot more fighters. We don't see any plans to go bombers from either player, which is somewhat surprising. Kind of expected maybe one would try for a bombing run. These gunships are just trying to get a little bit of value. They are going to die now as this huge fighter wave just flies over. they've served their purpose though. Got a couple of metal extractors, did the job. Kind of dealt with this bit here. Like, not great, but not bad. Interesting. Oh, he could have thought there was an EMP mechs there, yeah. That wouldn't have been a bad idea, to be honest. EMP mechs there, bait your opponent in, have it self-destruct, go in on the units, but no, not yet. Still only bulls coming out. See Zars and Banishers coming out from Akumar, not Akumar, sorry, from Fiddler. This is where it starts to become a bit of a problem for Akumar. If the Banishers start mounting up and the Zars, it's gonna be a problem for Akumar. He is going to need to engage. The longer he's waiting here, the harsher it's getting for him. He does have a big group of tanks up this top side, which he may plan on just pushing through. Oh, he's going in. Hoping to pick up the Tsar, which he does do. Little does he know that there are now... Oh, still only one Banisher. There's another one on its way, though. And another Tsar on its way. Oh. Akumar let those tanks past. Oh, that's a big oopsie. This force could have been attacking right now, which he really needed the attention to be elsewhere. Look how many shurikens there are. Jeez. Akumar preparing to degun with his comm, getting that Tech 2 radar jammer down so that he could sit here with his comm. Ooh, Akumar losing the Tech 2 constructor as well. That is gonna hurt. And I don't know. This is looking a bit rough for Akumar. Anti-nuke already built by Fiddler. We also see an intrusion protection. And here we go. How many of these forces will Akumar be able to draw off with the North force? And he actually sends his middle force here south. While they're pulled all the way up here, it does leave him a bit open. Oh, all of this just gets EMP'd. Well, that's a shame. They don't get anything. Probably should have maybe had a flak him with that. The Pulsar does not have vision. Starlight does not have vision. And now this force on the bottom is just going to get the exact same thing happen to them as the shurikens are just going to come over and EMP them. Fighters are there. Gonna quickly shoot them and then turn around, surely. Nope, he's going in for it. And as expected, Akumar loses all of his fighters. Well, all of those fighters. There are more further back. But most of the shurikens did die. None of this economy down here is Tech 2, though. This is all still Tech 1. So we switch over. Ooh. Oh, this might be bad. Oh, this is not good. The Starlights have been popped very, very quickly. Akumar going for a D-gun on the Tsar. Gets it. D-guns all the pounders and runs back into the radar jammer. And that was a very nice play by Akumar. He actually managed to survive that. These bulls have actually carved a path down the bottom as well. Tech 2 air, though, from Fiddler. Tech 2 fighters start coming out. That is going to prove a bit of a problem for Akumar. He's memeing a bit with the beamers here as well. Just look how many beamers there are. And they kind of still get past anyway. Bulls may keep that con ball alive. It does. This guy will actually get some decent value, but still. I don't know. Right now, Akumar's looking a bit on the worse for wear side, to be honest with you. This is a bit of a problem. It's mostly Tech 1, don't get me wrong. Akumar has a lot of metal. Oh, sorry, this is Fiddler. Fiddler has a lot of metal in the bank as we switch over to Fiddler. Prepping a Tech 2 bomber, strap bomber run. Oh, interesting. Where is that vehicle at? Oh, okay. Fiddler has eaten both of his vehicle labs and put everything into the bombers. So this is Fiddler's plan to win now. He is going everything in air. He knows Akumar's weak in air. Okay, let's see what happens. He needs the win. Both players need the win, but he needs the calm death here. Now, Akumar is tier 2 air as well, and he is pretty much only building fighters, occasional scout. So we'll see what happens. This one tiger is causing him a bit of a hassle. Not to be all and end all. These are worse. Oh. Okay. Akumar's plan to win is Tech 3 then. Already prepping up, prepping Razorbacks. Now the question is, will Akumar spot the air raid coming in? Fighters are ready. Bombers are ready. What are they going to hit? What are the bombers going to hit? Are we going to see fusions? That's what I'm expecting. Oh, but this might be a problem. Is he just going to get... tanks go in as well at the same time? The fighters have not managed to shoot down the bombers in time. Bombers did go for the fusions. One fusion remains. Akumar gets the D-gun off. His commander's still alive. Bomber's going for the commander now. And Akumar calls the GG. That was close. Could have been anyone's game. Ended. Fiddler making that decision to go Tech 2 air and go straight in for the bombers. Well, obviously won the game from them. So well played, Fiddler. Fiddler goes in to play the winner of the other set in Group A. So let's find out who they're going to play against next time.